What's up, everybody? This is Mr. Harris once again, bringing you some helpful math tips. Today we're going to be talking about the law of sines, and as you can see in this bottom right corner, I have the law of sines already written out. The law of sines is just a ratio comparing the sine of angle A over the length of side A is equal to the sine of angle B over the length of side B, and that's equal to the sine of angle C over the length of side C. So you must have two out of the three. So you can have either the first two, sine of A over A is equal to sine of B over B, or sine of B over B is equal to the sine of C over C, or you can have sine of A over A equal to the sine of C over C. Now, on this particular video, my plan is to bring a little more of my energy. The student said that I need to bring more energy in my video, so I'm going to try to do that. So let's go ahead and get started. In this case, the first thing we must do is we must find the length of that third angle. And we know that the sum of all three angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to find the measure of angle C by first of all adding together the sum of the first two angles. So if I have 118 plus 22, that's going to give me 140. Then I'm going to take 180 degrees because the sum of all three angles equals 180, and I'm going to subtract 140 degrees. That's going to give me 40 degrees, which is the measure of angle C. So that's 40 degrees. And here, as you can see, we're looking for AC, which we're going to make that little b. Okay? So when we set up our ratio, we have the sine of 22 degrees over b is equal to the sine of 40 degrees over 24. Okay, now we're simply going to cross multiply. So 24 times sine of 22 is equal to b times the sine of 40. Okay, let's put the angle measures in parentheses. And when I multiply 24 times the sine of 22, I'm actually going to get 8.99. Okay, and 8.99 is going to be equal to b times 0.6427. All right, now we know to get b by itself, we simply can divide by 0.6427 on both sides. And when we do that, that's going to give us 14 on the left hand side is equal to b. So this tells me that the length of segment AC, which is actually B, is going to be 14 units. Okay, so that's our solution. So they were asking us to find segment AC, which once again I substituted B for that, and it's going to be equal to 14. Moving right along to example 2. In example 2, we have a little different. And for example 2, we're going to find the measure of angle A. So in order to find the measure of angle A, we need to first of all take and add up 53 degrees plus 44 degrees, which if I add those together, that would give me 97 degrees. Okay, and then we're going to take 180 degrees minus 97. Once again, that 180 degrees is the sum of all three angles. This 97 is the sum of these two given angles. So if we subtract that 97 from the 180, we're going to definitely get 44 degrees. I'm sorry, no, we won't get 44 degrees. We'll actually get 83 degrees. My apologies. All right, so we have 83 degrees is equal to the measure of angle A. And in this case, we are trying to find AB. So AB is over here, so we're going to make that little c. All right, so when I set up my proportion, I have the sine of 44 over 7 is equal to the sine of 53 over c. And once again, we're going to cross multiply. So c times the sine of 44. So c sine 44 is equal to 7 sine of 53 degrees. Now, when I do the multiplication here, the sine of 44 degrees is actually, so we're going to have c times 0.6947. And this value that I'm getting here, the sine of 44, sine of 53, and even back in example 1, the sine of 22 and the sine of 40, that is all coming from my graphing calculator. Remember, you must have this in degree mode. So on the right hand side, 7 times the sine of an angle that's 53 degrees is 5.5904. Now, different problems may cause you to round these values off a little differently to 1 or 2 decimal places, but I always use 4 decimal places because typically when we enter in a value of a trig function, we're going to get 4 decimal places. So here, if I want to get c by itself, I'm going to divide on both sides, and I'm going to divide by 0.6947. Whatever we do to one side, we must do to both sides. And when I divide here, those will cancel. C is going to be equal to 8. Okay, so the measure or the length of side C is going to be 8.